What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Earthboys podcast. My name is Emmy.
And I'm Jaden. Episode 3.
Episode 3, we're your two favorite Earth human idiots.
Today's our
Definitely human.
Halloween episode. We're dressed as a bunch of clowns.
That's true. The little squeaky noise.
Bozos.
Yeah.
Couple of bozos.
Couple of bozos here. What are you sipping on right now?
I'm drinking a venti iced pumpkin spice latte with no whipped cream.
Damn.
Let me get that on the mic. Hold on. What are you opening?
Opening a Spindrift right now.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a good one.
Then we have the cat sitting in on this episode. You might hear her throughout the episode. She wakes up, chooses violence, and spouts profanity. So get ready for that. She's like that.
Yeah, you never know what she's going to say. You got anything to say? Okay. Well,
I heard it perfectly.
yeah. Well, that's all she's got to say now. We'll see what she got to say later.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. End of the month. November's going to start. Pretty
Yep.
much like the end of the fucking year, which is crazy.
I'm okay with that. This is the time of the year where it gets chill. Obviously, paid off my credit cards, so I don't got bills. So everything I'm able to make is either what I live or saving. So
Right.
I feel less stressed. Just that end of the year grind. I'm looking forward to it. Then obviously the cold.
Yeah, it's finally cold. I was cold last night, and I had to put a sweater on, and I was like wearing my sweats, and I was like, ooh, I'm cozy now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now it's fully transitioned to where the house is like uncomfortable,
Yeah.
fucking hot as fuck.
I mean, I think this is our last heat wave. Like, it's technically going to be 82 today.
Mhm.
But obviously, like, your house is super well insulated. Like, this house stays cool.
Yeah.
Like, really well.
I mean, I don't really like the AC hasn't been on since I've been here.
That's what I was wondering, too. I was like, has the AC been on ever? Like,
Nope.
just the insulation's that good in this house?
I'm used to just not touching it at all.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, not to mention the house you actually live in is also cool to like 64 every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking wicked.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
very wicked.
Dude, that's like if you put me in a zoo enclosure, I would be next to like the polar bears and the penguins.
Yeah, for sure.
Except it'd just be like my room.
Mm-hmm. Just be like a cot.
Yeah. So, how'd you like the race on Sunday?
I was bummed out watching Sergio, catch air and ruin the car on the first turn.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he knew that he said himself, he was like, yeah, I made a gamble there.
Yeah.
And like, obviously it didn't work out because it was right at the end. It was like,
Yeah, because obviously the commentators kept saying like in 2021 that's what Verstappen did. So I personally went back and watched that race.
mm-hmm.
And what happened is I believe that the two cars got on the brakes a little bit earlier, or Verstappen just full aped it.
Right.
And he took the lead and won that race in
Damn.
Mexico 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So I see what Sergio was going to do. But obviously, like he said, Charles was late.
He was
on the
really
brakes,
late on the brakes.
which
yeah.
honestly, Sergio saying it's a racing incident, I think it is.
I think it is more a racing incident because
100%.
they were pushing it so close to the limit because all three of them at the front
Yeah,
wanted
3
it.
wide?
They wanted it so bad. Like, there's no way he was just going to give up after sitting pole.
Yeah. Have you ever done 3 wide on a normal street?
No.
It's a little dodgy. Okay, so
Well, I mean, like,
in San Diego,
yeah.
in San Diego, when you're leaving the airport, right, and you take a left to get on the freeway, it's Grape Street, I believe. That's like one of the few 3 wide turn lanes. That and the one outside the Costco.
Oh,
Those are 3
yeah.
wide. Because even then, you're like, oh, because you're like, these people that are around you are stupid as well.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, watching him go 3 wide, he went for it. He paid the price for it? But it's like, what's his name said? Who's the Brazilian driver? What's his name again? The one that passed away, Ayrton Senna.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he said like remember there was like a race back in the day he crashed and he goes like if you don't for the gap, you're no longer a racing driver.
Right.
And to me that was like perfect. I was like, I even copied and pasted that and put it on Sergio's post because he's obviously like either getting a lot of hate or a lot of love.
Right.
And then like I guess at the end everybody was booing Charles Leclerc.
I thought that was kind of lame.
That was kind of lame, but also I feel like the Mexican crowd is
They're very passionate about their sport.
very passionate, but also like you can't even say passionate. Like they're kind of like dodgy fans. It seems like. Obviously, that sounds like crazy. Like I'm almost full Mexican, so like anyone can come after me. I don't care. But like they even were booing Max that he won last year, and it's like, why are you gonna boo someone for winning? Like Your driver didn't cut it that day. It's okay. Your
Right.
driver gambled, didn't make it,
It's just like the salty
and
fan.
everybody knows that it's like, dude, it's motor racing, you know.
Right.
But also, let's talk Daniel Ricciardo in the points. Pretty
Dude,
solid in the
he
points.
did so good. I was very happy that he managed to, keep it together. He had a good race, you know,
Yeah,
good pace and everything. I'm surprised he didn't fall, further back because
his car's kind of not
the
great.
car is just has
Where
not been good this season
Yeah.
at all. But the fact that he not only got it up there in qualifying, but kept it up there through the whole race.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure Yuki's
that was
like
stoked.
losing sleep over that.
Yeah, honestly, Yuki's getting better, and like obviously his error at the end didn't help him that he spun off.
Oh yeah,
And he bumped the
he bumped Piastri. I think.
Piastri, right? And
Yeah,
then-
he got a little too penisy there and
yeah.
wanted to do a weird overtake and
Yeah.
just misjudged it.
I think he's good where he is. I don't see anyone coming in and being better than Yuki, maybe, but I like to see where he goes.
Yeah, I mean
And
he's
the
not
fact,
costing them a lot of money's worth of damage. I mean
Yeah.
not compared
Not
to
anymore.
not compared to Sergio and other Mick Schumacher
Yeah.
and other people that keep crashing out.
and I like the fact that like every year he stays in Formula One is more money that he's making. Because
Right.
like, what's his goal? Go back to Japan and start a restaurant? That's dope.
Yeah, he's eventually wants to go do that, which I think is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like,
Right.
dude, you imagine like maybe we take a trip to Japan like 5 years or something, like whenever we can, and then like at
Go
that
find
point,
his restaurant
go
and
find
go
his
eat
restaurant, and it's probably a Formula One themed or something too. Plus like the cool Japanese vibe.
there. Right.
You know,
That'd be pretty
That'd
sick,
be sick,
actually.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I watched this guy race. I'm personally rooting for him because like,
Right.
you know,
We seen him in his rookie year, do his whole F1 career, and now he's doing this thing, and we're
Yeah.
gonna go like to his restaurant that he wanted to do.
yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Do you know what part of Japan he's from?
No, I have no
I
idea.
don't know either.
No idea.
But Kevin Magnussen putting it into the wall
Dude.
because his left rear suspension failure.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy when the car just fails and like. Yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah. Tell us more.
She's so vocal. But yeah, dude, the fact that like he hit the wall so hard, like genuinely is one of those things where it's like, obviously I don't really like dick ride any of like the drivers, like, oh my god, I love them, you know. But I do have people I like, like as a guy, you're like,
They're still
oh, that
human
guy seems
beings.
like a bro,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But like, unless you're Lance Stroll, no, I'm just kidding. No, but like even when you saw him get out, you can tell he was jostled. He said his hands were hurting because like obviously like when the
He hit sideways first.
the wheel hits your hands or whatever, and like I was like, oh shit, like the fact that he got out of the car so fast, but you could tell he was like didn't know what to do, and he kind of sat down, kind of weird.
He looked dazed. He
was
like
like,
confused.
Yeah, I'm just glad he's okay. Obviously,
Yeah.
like when I got off work, because obviously we watched it all the way up, and then I had to boogie home. Got off work, it was busy as hell, finally did my shower thing, and like as I'm getting ready just to like chill out, like obviously I watched the race recap. I watched the
Okay,
2021 one
yeah.
just to like get the refresher. Like Giovinazzi was there, Raikkonen was there. I was like,
Oh yeah.
because like
Ugh,
it's
Giovinazzi.
it's a little before my time, So I was
Uh-huh.
like just doing, like just expanding knowledge about it. And I was like, damn, waiting for Kevin's interview at the end. I was like, okay, good, he's okay.
Yeah. Man, it looked pretty bad. I mean, I think when I first saw it happen, I didn't even know what happened. And then the replay, it looked like I thought he had hit the curb too high
Yeah,
and just lost the grip, and then the car just went the other way because
like when it like teeter tots on like the fucking
Yeah,
curb
when-
that's too high, so that no wheels are on the floor for that split second.
and
Yeah.
the car just spun around and turned. But I guess it ended up being a mechanical failure on the car, which is even scarier because you're trusting that the car is not going to fail.
Yeah.
So then you're
It's probably
ripping through
never
that
on your
turn.
mind that like the car's gonna fail in like a very dangerous way, because like obviously you could just lose the pump, mechanical failure, like full
Right,
lock or
but
something.
you're trusting
but nothing
that
that's
those
gonna shoot
those
off.
vital components, right? Like you said, you don't think that that's going to break.
Yeah.
Because you're trusting that your equipment and that your squad is like putting the car together like at the safest levels because it's like professional racing.
Yeah.
So you're not going to even think like, oh well, I hope the suspension doesn't pop off,
Yeah, that's crazy.
or like I hope the brakes don't just blow off.
Do you think Hulkenberg was thinking about that while he was driving the car? Like, dude, our cars are like built same spec.
I mean, I don't. All the drivers know the car because they're obviously in it, and like that's the language that the second language they speak is car, so they know their vehicle. I'm sure once that happened, he was probably thinking like, "Ooh, I need to be more careful about how hard I'm pushing the car, so that
Yeah.
way that doesn't happen to me." But he's probably just like, I just got to worry about my own.
Yeah. But I mean, clearly, like on the radio, they probably tell you, like, yo, well, everybody knew obviously it was a red flag.
Yeah.
But also, do you think he was like, damn, what if my suspension pops off? Or do you think he's just like,
He was probably just like,
he's probably just like freak accident? Let's,
he probably assumed it was a freak accident and figured it probably won't happen to me. It's just a freak accident. Like, and he probably just like, I'm just going to keep my head down. Like, just literally keep my brain in as focused mode as possible.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm going to let the cat out real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will be right back. All right. So I'm going to make a confession here. And we fucked up the cut because I had to let the cat out. And then when I came back to record, I hit the wrong button. So there's about 12, 15 minutes of us talking literally to nothing. So I'm sorry, listeners. I'm going to take that one on the chest.
That's a funny word you used, we.
We.
Well, I mean, okay, French?
Dude, you're sitting here.
Nintendo Wii?
You're sitting here with me. It's an experience that we both experienced together, okay? But I did say I clicked the wrong button.
Okay, so I think we were talking about, what, Formula One?
We were talking about Formula One and
Hulkenberg. We're talking about economical cars after that.
Right.
So there's not much you missed. There's more just rambling
we basically just split off into economical cars, talking about how a slammed Prius, like I saw a new slammed Prius and thought it was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. We're saying, oh yeah, Prius ain't going to be so bad of a car if you get that car.
Especially if after like 15 years of bullying.
Yeah.
Prius getting bullied for that long that it like came up. And
they came out with an actual model that looked nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't mind getting that car because you're still going to be economically sound. Like you can still get good range, and you don't have to deal with like dying out in the middle of nowhere.
Or like even driving a sports car, like if you're just sitting there, maybe I don't know, like you're going out with friends or you're going out with your girl. Like there's always something that happens with like expensive sports cars or something, And it's
always
just like
something happening.
Now you have a bad day because now you're like, oh, that's going to cost me like $2,000.
Yeah.
Whereas like now you have something that still looks nice and is economical.
Well, I mean, that's why like I said earlier, is, a lot of people go back and they just figure they'd buy a used car, get something that's like in the middle of the road that's not going to break the bank, but that's still new enough that's going to get a decent, gas mileage.
Yeah.
Because gas is like, it's not $6 anymore, but it's still like $5.50, $5.60 in some places. So.
But that's the thing is it shouldn't even be that.
No, gas shouldn't be
like
over $5. Gas should be like $3.
Gas should be $3, but they're conditioned. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy person, but like realistically, they're just conditioning you to be like, oh, that's the new normal of a $5 gas.
Yeah.
So that you should be grateful that it's not $7 gas.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, with everything happening in the world right now, like we're not going to get into that at all. But like clearly, someone's going to start paying more for gas, and it's usually us.
For sure.
Like the fact that Hawaii has cheaper gas than California.
Yeah, it doesn't make. I mean,
what is that? Like, you have to make an extra shipment to send.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that they would have
Hawaii.
it for less over there.
Yeah.
Imagine you ship your car. Like, let's say you're a rich person, you have like 10 cars. You're like, fuck, they're all empty. I'm gonna drop all like money to ship them on a car boat all the way to Hawaii. You fill them up. You ship them all the way back.
Spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to save three.
And you just to justify spending less on gas.
Fucking idiot.
I'm sure there's people out there that have money. Like, can you imagine someone that has a lot of money? I mean, I can't imagine because it happens a lot. But people that have a lot of money and just go around like doing the worst things possible with said money.
Probably most likely every rich person out there with like a net worth above like 500 million.
Yeah, I mean, when you have,
you know what I mean?
Well, think about an average Joe that wins the lottery, and then they end up going broke in a couple years. Like, that's just so crazy to me.
Because those type of people, they're usually like, it always seems like most like people that have like some type of not education but some type of sense, they don't play the lottery because they know statistically like you're more likely to get struck by lightning than winning that. Mm-hmm. Whereas like you have to be kind of not dumb and desperate, but you have to be at that level to be like, I'm putting my chances in the lottery, like, oh, this and the other.
Right.
Which like honestly at this point I get it. Like I'm gonna probably start buying a ticket like maybe once a month or something.
Yeah. Who knows? You never know.
But for those people that do go broke, is that their mind is so like undeveloped financially, probably.
They were so desperate for the money that when they won it, they just couldn't think clearly.
Yeah.
From the start, so they just wasted all of it.
Mm-hmm. Like, I love this topic, me, because me and you're like, I know for sure I am, but I think you are too. Like you're kind of like a daydreamer person. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like when you're going through your day to day, like maybe you're doing things you don't love, but it's like you still got to pay your bills. So it's like
Exactly.
you like sack up. Like
Yeah, I'd be thinking about stuff that I can envision myself doing if I was in a better financial spot for sure.
yeah. So like even if you hit like my whole thing is depends on like what you win. Say like you won 10 million, say you won 500 million or like whatever. Like obviously 10 million, it's you buy the house. Personally, I'm gonna buy like a nice 1-story house like this,
Yeah.
maybe. But then maybe build out to something that has like maybe 4-car garage, which is kind of crazy, but like I like cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's still doable when you have money like that.
Yeah, like 10 million, you could do that. But obviously, if you like, say you have like 500 million, like those type of people that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I was in Kauai, that island is beautiful. You're literally half your drives like going through forests and stuff.
Damn.
And it's amazing. And I was just thinking the whole time, I was like, we rented a minivan because obviously that's the smart choice for like when you have luggage and then you have a bunch of people in the car in and out and you're seeing stuff.
Right.
I kept thinking, dude, how fun would like a GT3 be? Not that you're just ripping gears, because that's obviously crazy. And there's probably not a person that can fix Porsches on Hawaii. But like, say you're that rich to where like, oh, I'm going to spend a month in Hawaii. You're going to ship your car a month early so it gets there, right?
Yeah.
You Airbnb a nice place or you rent a nice place or like maybe you even have like a place there.
Maybe you have a second house there. You just
Where it's
keep a Porsche in the garage.
There's a Jeep there, but then you ship the Porsche so it can still get like maintenance and stuff. Like I don't know if there's a Porsche of Hawaii. Like there could be.
There could be, yeah.
But there probably isn't. You know what I mean? So like say you ship it in, and like you're just having fun. Like you go on a nice drive because like you can obviously get to one side of the island and the other like hour and a half. But still, it's like, dude, you're enjoying that hour and a half. Like, that's fun because we were weaving through areas. And so, like, my mom was driving because they don't trust me to drive, which I'm 27 with no accidents. And my parents are older. So it's like I have way better reflexes than them. The whole time I was just like, all right, there's going to be a triple hairpin. All right, hairpin. Sweeping right, sweeping left because I was shotgun because I'm tall, so I can't sit in the back.
You're
so
just calling out the turns
I
as
was
you're
just
going.
calling out the turns the whole time. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, dude, it really hurts me that
you can't be the one driving through that road.
Not even just that I'm not just by myself or maybe one like friend or something, and we're just driving sightseeing in a Porsche.
That'd be so nice.
Because like if you had that level of money, I'm not buying a yacht. I'm not buying like a mansion like Drake's house. I don't need that.
No, you just have a nice house in the hills somewhere.
Yeah.
You keep the Jeep in the garage. You bring the Porsche over, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend a month here on vacation. Nice 4 weeks. You just drive around whenever you want. Take a couple laps if you want. Whatever.
Yeah. You're telling me like now that I'm older, like Hawaii, I get it. Like as a kid, you're like, oh, cool, tropical.
It's whatever.
But now that you're older, you're like, dude, this is nice, slow lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm gonna swim with the turtles. Yeah.
There's like we actually saw a bunch of turtles there too. You get the red light flashlights, so it doesn't disturb them while they're sleeping. 80 of them pull up on the beach.
Oh, damn.
And it's like fucking people in the 70s where like everybody gets out, warms their car up, drinks coffee, and then eats their breakfast, hops in the car and leaves.
Nice.
All at the same time.
That's so cool.
That's literally how it was. I was like, God damn, that was wild.
What a vibe, dude. I haven't been since I was 10 years old.
We should go sometime in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I jokingly told your parents last time you guys were going to go. I was like, ha, 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 you guys should take me next time. Ha, 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 ha.
I'm sure we could work something out, dude. Like, because if you think about it.
Hey, I'll sleep on the ground. I don't care.
If you just buy your flights in advance, like say you're going in 8 months and you buy those flights and you're committed to that and you have the time off already.
It's whatever.
You pay off the flights already. And if you can, like prepay the room. So by the time you pull up to Hawaii, you're not like
dropping all that money then. Yeah.
That's what I did as I paid for the flights because we went business because it's not economy. One above economy. So you get a little extra room, a little extra leg space, whatever, And obviously the ticket was like almost $800 for their like round trip. But the flight back, the part that I was stoked about is business all the way back from Oahu to San Diego. No layover, direct flight back home because that's where you want the direct flight. You don't want like you can stomach the not direct flight because we went from San Diego to Oahu to Kauai.
Okay.
But then on the way back, we obviously flew to Oahu, but we stayed a couple days in Oahu.
Okay.
So that flight's like literally you're up cruising altitude and you go back down.
And then that's it. You're done.
That's it. Like I thought it was gonna be like an hour. The flight was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not that far.
I was about to settle in.
Dude, from Seattle to Bend, it's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 50 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. But like the fact is, like I was just gonna settle in for a flight because mentally, like that's just how I was gonna do it.
Right. You assume it's longer.
And then it wasn't. And then you just get on the flight. Obviously, going back home is the drag because like you're like, oh, I'm going back to my life, you know. But it wasn't bad at all. So like, dude, we'll just buy flights at some point, pay them off early, so like you don't feel the hit. And then like obviously we don't need to stay in the fanciest place.
Yeah, no, it's definitely possible for sure.
Yeah. Gotta get traveling again, my boy.
Going with the fam. Yeah, no, I'm like now that you've gone to Europe and I've just been here doing nothing, I'm definitely opening myself up more to like.
Are you getting a little more like itchy to travel?
Not that it's like the itch to travel, but it's just kind of like okay, like I'm ready to like go do things now. You know what I mean? Like I've had enough like me time just being at home, rotting on the chair playing video games. It's like okay, now I'm at that point where like I'm pretty comfortable. I could just kind of go or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was like a mental thing, or I don't know if it was like a.
Also, you're not getting more life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we're not getting any younger either.
And
so
you're not
like,
getting more time on this earth.
So I think it's becoming more real now that I'm approaching 30, and so it's like, oh man, like I really got to capitalize now.
To be honest though, like as a guy, I'm like looking forward to the 30s.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too.
You know what I mean? Like if
because now I'm sure of myself.
Yeah, like,
I'm gonna go into this next like bit of my life like knowing who I am and like knowing what I want to do and like having an idea of like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy doing this or that.
Yeah, I feel like I got pretty comfortable with myself decently early. I think I maybe got comfortable with myself around 24, and then I had like definitely much better like mental life from like 26 on.
Yeah, I would say around
25 to 26.
24. I would say closer to 25. I finally like kind of understood who I was like fully, not just like, oh, I'm like pretty certain. It was like, okay, no, I fully like understand like me as a person, kind of get who I am.
Yeah.
I guess the last like 2-3 years have been just being like, okay, now I'm, pretty comfortable here. And then living in this new realm for a while where it's like I'm detached from all the stuff I had going on in the past and like that stuff doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
No, for sure. It's pretty interesting because like for a while you like stuff from your past like bothers the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You go through your like I remember when I was living in Seattle and I'd think about stuff even from like just a year or two before and it gut wrenching, like there was an ex that like didn't want to be with me or something and I drove back like in the car like screaming and crying. I don't know, I was just fucked up from it.
Yeah, of course.
And it was like years go by. I was like single at the time. It was before I dated the demon. And I remember like sitting at the canal and like I just like a song came on and I just thought of that person and was like lip quivering. I was like, everyone's looking at me like this fucking idiot.
Yeah, like typical Seattle shit. Some dude crying at the lake.
Man, we were like all so on drugs, so we're just like very emotional, And yeah, I mean, back then anything like that would have just crushed me. I would have been like eviscerated.
Yeah.
Shattered.
Like I'm sure there's still times where like something pops in your head and you're kind of like,
But it's never anything. It's never debilitating. It's never like day ruining. It's, It's maybe
it'll ruin that like 10-minute block.
10-15 minutes max.
Yeah. Because that's just being human. Same thing here. It's like obviously like people you like have that are in your life and now are not in your life anymore. Like obviously when it's fresh, like any type of like
it's sad.
Like anything, you're just like. Bleh.
Right.
It'll like obviously make your stomach drop and like you'd be like about to eat a meal and then you're just like, I'm not eating, or something like that.
It's like I'm not gonna eat for 40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah, that's 80 days.
That's like 80 days.
But like even then, I was asked a question actually today. Like, the homie that I was with earlier, he asked, like, do you ever worry about that you're gonna run into someone? And I'll be honestly, like maybe a year or two ago, I'd have been like, oh no, like,
oh my god.
Or how do British people say it? Nar.
No, that's Australian people.
Oh, no, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But like, and then he asked me today, I was like, dude, honestly, I don't really care because I'm like, that moment where like you kind of forget who you are. And then
a little bit after a breakup, you kind of like forget.
Yeah, and then you remember, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? My life was chill before them, it'll be chill after them. Like, come on now, bro. Like, it'd be one of those things you just walk in, like, oh, what's up? Keep walking. I'm not gonna stick around and be like, so how you doing?
Yeah,
how's the family? Like, no, I don't care. Like, it's like.
I mean, do you remember that one random encounter when we saw a person's mother?
Oh yeah, that wasn't even weird either.
But that wasn't weird because it was just like we were at the store, we were walking out.
Yeah.
All you literally said was, "What's up? Hope you've been doing well."
And she came up to me.
Came up
I
to
didn't
you.
go up to her.
Came up to you, and then you said, "I hope you're doing well."
Yeah.
I'll see you around, whatever.
Yeah.
You went about your business. Like,
And because
that's a chill interaction.
yeah,
Right.
and because I was also more stoked that like that was like literally the mark of like 5 days of me leaving to Europe. So like obviously my nerves were on like the past. My nerves were
Yeah, you were going to be
more on
gone
the
for
future,
a whole month
you know,
too.
especially as someone that has like travel anxiety. Like me going to Europe and stuff like that, I think was one of my biggest personal accomplishments.
Yeah.
Like if you don't include like financial or other weird stuff, you know, like that's just one of my things. I remember I told you like my goal is just to get to the Eiffel Tower and then I'll figure out from there. And then it was kind of like get from San Diego to Paris, Paris to Florence, and it was like a check mark every single way. And then all of a sudden you're on your way back home and you're like, damn, like traveling and shit is sick. But yeah, to back to that, it's like yeah, things that just don't bother you anymore.
It's nice.
And that's funny that you brought that up today because he asked me that today, and I was like, dude, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
Like it would literally not bother me. Like obviously, it'd be one of those things. Where like, ugh, I'd probably like get in the car after and text you and be like,
yeah.
guess who I saw, you know. But other than that, like,
It's not really a day breaker for
Yeah.
me. I think, well, you and I are different in that case because I know people who, even to this day, you know, they'll be like, oh, I have to avoid, like, I can't ever, like, be seen by this person again.
no.
Or, you know, it's like, dude, how do someone put themselves in a situation, or even better yet, how does someone put themselves in a situation where they've maybe they haven't like fucked people over actively, but they just had really bad falling out with like a lot of individual people in the same area. Like, how do you go about your life like worrying so much about having to interact with these people whose relationship you've ruined, whether it's a friendship or you dated them or they were family or whatever? Like that must suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, those type of people are always like destructing things. Like that person that has a problem with everyone, that person's the problem.
Oh yeah,
But
but
also,
they'll never be accountable for being that type of person.
Yeah.
Like they won't take accountability for that.
Yeah, like obviously my old friend group from a couple years ago that I don't talk to any of them.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like obviously in that scenario, genuinely, it's one of those things where like I know I did nothing wrong in that scenario. You know, it was all of them being shady, like that. Even if I saw any of them, it wouldn't even be like, yo, fuck you, dude, or like, fuck this person, or whatever.
Yeah,
It'd just be like, whatever.
decided to be an adult about it.
Yeah,
You're like,
I was
okay,
all right, well, no.
I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah. Like, if I saw any of them, you know, I'd be like, I wouldn't, like, outwardly go to say hi, you know? But if obviously they approach me, oh, what's up? You
You'd
know?
keep it cordial.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know? It would just be like, you're not going to get that interaction from me. It's just going to be like, oh, that's cool, bro.
It just sucks that some people, when they have a falling out with someone, like whether it's a group of friends or an individual with another person, that there's always someone. In most cases, I feel like that they wish for that moment so that they could say something, or like they like hope for like crossing paths with the person so they can have their revenge. It's like, dude,
Or have their little moment.
have
or
their
like,
little moment where they say what they've been thinking for like the last year.
But you know, they're not
couple of
going to
months.
text you or call you or nothing.
They'll never initiate anything,
Yeah.
but they're just hoping like for the chance. Like, you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Why are you wasting your time and all your energy like trying to get back at this person
Yeah.
who probably doesn't even think about you anymore?
No.
That's just so weird to me.
I honestly, I love that too. Like, obviously getting older, like these people, if I run into them, it doesn't do anything to me. Like, it'd be one of those things that I'm not over here sitting like waiting, like, oh, I hope this person says something negative so I can fucking just crush them. It's like, I genuinely don't have.
I think that's
I care
you're
in the
also
world.
like a sociopath if you like genuinely like get off on doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
To people, or getting those interactions where you like are arguing with someone, they're like looking for the argument.
But also, I think in obviously the modern day times, like Twitter, Instagram, this, that, and the other, where like people get off on dunking on each other.
Oh yeah, because there's
know,
no
like,
consequence.
There's
online.
no consequence online.
Yeah.
Whereas like I definitely feel like most of these people won't say anything in person ever, because like also like say you went to go say, oh, like, hey, fuck you, dude, like go fuck yourself.
Yeah. What are you gonna
Or,
do
like, what
from
are you
all the
gonna
way
do, bro?
from
Like-
all the way over there?
Like go walk off, you know, like I don't think people are used to like the person to person conflict anymore.
Yeah.
Not I'm saying not conflict as in fighting someone, but just like verbally being like, dude, whatever.
I actually had a comment on Instagram. There was like I think it was like a J. Cole freestyle. Like I personally don't care for J. Cole. Like he can.
Neither do I.
He says whatever he says. Like people like him. That's cool. He's an intellectual rapper. I get it.
Yeah.
The bars that he spits are just not that impressive to me. To me, right? That's my own opinion. If other people listen to him, I'm happy that you enjoy that music because you're
Yes.
relating to something and you're getting a positive experience. So
Yeah.
like that's really cool. I just don't f with it. So I said that on a post, Now I've had like 100 people reply to me, calling me a Yeet fan, telling me to listen to like go back to listening to some other garbage. And it's like, dude, I don't even listen to those people either. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I had this guy, he was like, he just kept replying, and I kept just like being short with my replies. And he finally was like, it's like, what's your location at? Pull up. If you ever in New York, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And I was like, you're literally a stranger online, the clown emoji. And I just blocked the person because I was like, I'm over the conversation now.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that this person was like trying to act all hard on fucking Instagram. It's like, I don't even know you. You don't even know me. What's your problem?
And even if he's about that life or whatever, that's crazy that you'd fight a stranger over another stranger's opinion.
Yeah.
Like, did you actually actively shit on it, where you just go like, not his best work?
Well, I was like, this is just not good. I was just like, it's just not impressive. And so like when people would reply to me, I was like, no, you don't understand. Like and they're like, you just can't understand the bars. That's why you think it's trash. Like, no, like I like poetry, I read books and shit. Like I can comprehend what he was saying.
Yeah.
And like the wordplay is above par because most people can't rap like that. So like, sure, there's some skill involved, but what he's saying is like, I just don't care for it.
Yeah.
I don't relate to it.
I never like, unless J. Cole's on a feature, even then for me, it kind of pulls it down because I just don't care for like,
right. And
J.
he has
Cole's style.
he has some good songs that like I don't shit on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, those are catchy, whatever. Like it's a vibe, sure.
Yeah.
But that freestyle, I just didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I'm not a fan of J. Cole, really. Like, I don't think I actively have any J. Cole unless he's a feature on my iPhone,
Right.
like in my library at all.
Yeah.
I don't care for him. I know that like his fans are like the ride or die. Like, oh, you just don't get it. Like, it's a meme that his fan base is like.
Like they're too intellectual.
No, they're like pseudo intellectuals. Like they think that they know what he's talking about, or what they're doing is they listen to a song like 10 times that they like, and then they go on Rap Genius and go, look, what did he mean by this bar? And they click on it and they read like
They do a whole thesis
cool
paper on like,
context.
yeah.
Where you click on like, I don't know, that vase is blue, but like what you click on it and like what he really means is he feels trapped and he's sad because blue is a sad color, or
He's
whatever.
about, yeah, like being encased in glass. Like they make up this crazy meaning to something that like is really not that deep.
Yeah.
It's like he's at some point an artist is just like, yeah, you're saying stuff that's meaningful to you, and there could be a couple lines that like when you put them together in a certain context, like that goes pretty hard. I get that, but I don't know, man. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't get it.
But also like going back to like the guy that was willing to want to fight you. Say he was even joking, say he was like not. Say he was being serious. He's willing to fight someone over an opinion on like one freestyle, because usually freestyles aren't like mainstream.
I'm not even that serious.
No. You kind of said that just to see what people would say, I'm assuming.
Yes.
But also like it worked.
I was being honest, but only one person, and I've done this on many posts, only one person has ever like reached out and been like, I see what you're doing to get people to look at your page.
Yes.
That's pretty smart of you. And then they followed me, so I followed them back, even though they're like a stranger. But I was like, you see it.
Yes.
I was like, you know what I was doing. And it's like, yes, I am giving my opinion, but it's in a way that's going to get the interactions. So yes, I'm kind of picking at people, but at the same time, it's like there are some strangers that just they go way over the line with it.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm trying to keep my toes on the line to like be annoying enough to where people look at the page. Mm-hmm. But I am being honest. I'm not just saying it for the reaction. Like, it is something that I truly believe.
Yeah, and I think is it okay to like just straight up post something like mean and negative on someone's
That's
post?
not cool.
That's not cool. But also it's like the fact is you were just like, yeah, I just don't like that. Like big deal.
Right.
But also like I think that's what Twitter has become ever since there's like monetization aspect to it now. I think Twitter now is just more of like saying shit you actually really don't believe in.
Just say something crazy.
Say something crazy.
Because it's going to get 10,000 likes. And people are going to be like, what?
Or people are going to like try to come after you because it's like interactions is interactions. Impressions is impressions.
Exactly.
And if you get someone actually heated, like whether it be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, I don't know.
You never know. That reaction, that thread of posts where someone gets really mad, like a stranger.
They'll reply 100 times.
Someone could screenshot it and it could go viral. Then like now thousands of people are going through that same thread because they want to look at the actual thread. Like it can snowball into such a bad way. And it's like there's no consequence when you're behind the screen and you're just saying whatever you want.
Yeah. Unless someone scores, hey, this is you 45A39.
Like, ain't this
dude's
you?
reading your fucking IP address.
He's like, bro, isn't this your mail? Shows a video of him taking your mail and dropping it off at your house.
No, that'd be crazy,
dude. I would.
But that is something you have to worry about the internet too. Is like some people like they're actually as crazy as out there.
There's some crazy. That's why like I limit the amount of. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
chaos you put
responses
out
I
there.
yeah, the amount of chaos and responses I put on, especially on Instagram, because people are wild on Instagram. So, because
Yeah.
like they do the Instagram live, and then some rando like from the city knows that spot, pulls up and shoots the person like on some random shit. I mean,
Yeah.
that's more like
That's like
gang related and
that's like
stuff.
hood stuff. Yeah.
That's more hood stuff, right? But the point is, you never know who's on the other side of the screen. You don't know
Yeah.
how unhinged they are. A lot of people
You're assuming you're talking to someone decently mentally healthy.
decently mentally there. So like I'm saying, the chances of someone being an absolute psychopath that's gonna like stalk you and like get so mad at your post that they're gonna try to ruin your life is like next to nothing.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a 0.1% chance of happening, if not a 1% chance of happening.
I don't even think 1%'s massive.
Actually, yeah, that is kind of a lot when you think
It'd
of
be
how
like
many
point,
users.
a couple zeros, one. You know what I mean?
Something like that.
But even then, like, you know how when I was posting a lot of YouTube shorts
There's
while I was
still a lot
traveling,
of like maybe not full psychopaths, but there's still a lot of like stalker weirdos out there. So
Yeah.
that percentage does get a little higher than
But also, I feel like if you're putting too much out,
then
like
you're doing
that,
it
like
to
that,
yourself.
you're doxing yourself. Essentially, I think that's kind of like it's bad, but also it's like you've kind of been posting the front of your house or like your license plates.
And then you're doing that type of engagement,
Yeah.
like people are gonna look at it.
And they find out like where you're at. You know, like people have all the. It's almost like being prisoner to technology. Like inmates have a lot of time when they're obviously locked up, so they find things to do or
They have the time to be
they
looking
have the
through.
time to be looking for things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whereas like people on the internet, like today's time, like you ever go out on a Tuesday?
No,
It's fucking packed everywhere. You're like, dude, does nobody have jobs anymore? You know what
actually, that is kind of well. I mean, you know where we live, it's like, especially in that area where I work, it's whatever. But
I mean? Yeah.
I remember, yeah, like even in Bend, I would work because I had Sunday Mondays off.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday nights I'd go to the food truck,
Yeah.
like that beer area there, and they had like a bunch of the food trucks. The barbecue truck was still there, obviously, and I would go get food because since I know the owner, he'd give me like half off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go on a Monday night around 6:30, I don't know, 5:30, 6:30, and get some food, and it'd be packed full of fucking people on
Yeah.
a fucking Monday.
But I mean, I'm saying like even obviously with my schedule, it's like not a regular schedule. I have like weekdays off, like some weekdays off, you know?
Yeah, but like you're saying during the day,
Like during
right?
the day, it's like
Oh,
packed where it's
yeah.
like
Well, when
people
we-
should be clocking hours.
When we go to North Park during the week to have lunch,
Yeah, it's not dead.
anywhere we go, it's not dead at all. There's
Yeah.
hella people walking
Yeah.
around like they
You're
just
like,
not
whoa.
working.
Like I'm obviously people like saying that to us, but it is like a case where like you're like, damn, there's a lot of people around.
Like, is there a lot of people that don't have that 9 to 5, or like what other jobs are you doing?
Remote jobs. If I could, dude, I don't even know how to get a remote job or anything like that because it's just a realm I don't know. But if I could find one and it paid me around the same, I think I'd do it.
You could get a remote job scheduling appointments for people. You can get a remote job talking on the phone, but you'd hate that. You can get remote jobs like working on websites and like logging information, stuff like that. There's tons of like, you know,
I still people seeing that shit where like they're doing nothing, and then they click on the mouse every like 20 minutes. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
yeah, I don't know. And then they get paid like $3,500 a month. Like, what
Yeah,
are you doing? What are you doing making $38,000 a year at your
Yeah.
computer doing nothing?
but also to circle back to like people being negative online.
But then they also like sell their souls. You know, they're just.
I mean,
sitting
at
there.
some point you got to sell time anyways. So it's like, it's not like we're not selling our souls doing our jobs. Though,
Yeah,
you know?
but I want to sit at the computer and make art. I don't want to sit at the computer all day for 8 hours and do some job that I fucking hate just so I can stay home, just so that I can sit at home for another 8 hours in the same exact spot and make art.
Yeah, that does sound pretty bad.
I would rather a normal job and just like break up the time. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to what you were saying about people saying stuff online.
Like when I was posting a lot of YouTube shorts, like at first when I was doing it, like the negative comments, I'd reply back something witty.
Mm-hmm.
But now if somebody replies something negative, I just don't care because you're just noise. I feel like a lot of people care about what the internet says.
Yeah, because a lot of people expect someone to say something back.
But like I just don't understand the people that will do something and then let the internet, which is like almost not a real place, like dictate your life.
Yeah. Or,
Like I like obviously I've never gotten like
I
mass
mean,
negativity.
we're socially integrated people. We can socialize. We can go out in public and have no problem talking to people. Like, we're socially adept.
Mhm.
I think the people that are chronically online and like have no social skills have no other way of communicating with people but through online chat rooms or Twitter or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
So their way of communicating with people is way skewed. than how we see that
Yeah.
we normally communicate with people. So like they'll probably just sit there and like, you know, button spam and type all day long and just like comment on threads, and then they go out in public and literally can't look someone in the eye and talk to them.
Yeah. Like, obviously, to take this conversation a little bit more serious and a little more weird, like there's people that spend their whole day like on the hub and stuff like that,
Oh
and they
yeah.
think that like that type of interaction is real, or like that every woman has to be a dime and hairless and super fit and like all this other stuff, you know, not to like make it into one of those like anti-red pill podcasts or red pill podcasts. That whole genre is like lame, but like,
But that mentality of person that's on there.
and they don't know how to talk to it, and it's like, or they don't know how to like, they think like that every time if they do get intimate with like, say you're a man getting intimate with a woman or vice versa or whatever, that it has to be like
Exactly the way
like
you saw it.
like there's a camera and like you got to put on a performance. Like, no, bro, that's not how it is. Or like even talking to girls, that's not how it is. You know what I mean? And like,
I mean, it's obviously scripted and faked, you know, and they get this warped
mentality,
mentality and perception
you're right.
of the world, right? And so like that's what I mean by socially integrated. It's like they're so online and so like their perception of the world is so changed with how they think they should talk to people that they just never make meaningful connections. They can't ever relate to people, right? Like
Yeah.
they can't hold a relationship, you know, they can't talk to girls or dudes or whatever, you know, you can be into whatever you want, right? But yeah, like those people, they just lose that social skill. And I think that for kids like us back in the day, we grew up playing outside and we grew up riding bikes and like hanging out
on like the electricity box.
dude, hanging out, right over there, like waiting until the street lights turned on so we can go home. I mean,
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time outside. We got the chance to socialize properly. And so when we go out in public and we just live our daily lives, it's like nothing to us.
Yeah.
But they're the people who were just stuck there, just like permanently online or going on the hub and frying their brains or doing whatever, being on Reddit all day or YouTube all day. I mean, you just get lost. You just forget.
Yeah.
It's like obviously practice makes perfect, but if you don't, like, it's like speaking a second language. If you don't practice it, it's gonna go away.
Yeah, it's gonna go away.
So like if you just don't practice talking to humans on a daily basis, like that's gonna go away too.
Yeah. But also, I think the job we do, like inherently, that we talk to people all day.
We're forced to communicate with
We're
others.
forced to communicate with others. So that obviously, when you get off work or whatever, like you kind of more likely like, okay, I'm like I can recluse now.
Yeah, now I can be quiet for 6 hours and not like abuse my voice box because you're talking to people for 6-8 hours at work consistently.
And your coworkers, you know, and stuff like that. And it is kind of weird because like, do you ever run into like those type of people that are that generation where like, even when you go into play, this makes me sound old, but like when you go into somewhere and like you talk to, oh, hey, how you doing? You know, could I get a pumpkin spice latte, or like, can I get a oolong milk tea? And like, they're very awkward or very weird. You're like, whoa, like, how is this customer service?
Even at their
Yeah,
job?
I'm like, how is this customer service? Or like, do you ever go into a restaurant nowadays and you just have like a fucking ass server? You're like, dude, how did you get hired?
I mean, when restaurants will hire anybody,
Yeah.
they'll hire anybody, literally anybody.
That's why I like working in a competitive place where it's like, if they know you're not cutting it, like,
You're going to get dropped or you're going to get in a bad section or you
Or
won't get
demoted.
scheduled, demoted, whatever.
yeah, which is like okay, you know, but it's like, I don't know, those type of people, and like, you know, those people that are loud as hell online, but then you go talk to them in person and
They're
it's
all
just like,
shy and
they're all shy and everything.
you know
You're
they
like,
wouldn't
ugh.
do anything. It's like, damn, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I like to talk a lot of shit online, and I may not be the most macho person in person, but I'm not out here like actively like being a public menace.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, also I think that's one of your, like, obviously you like to watch weird campy TV shows, which is like more power to you.
Dude,
you know?
I love that shit.
But also like that's one of your little guilty pleasures is like sometimes having conflict online.
Yeah, it's like watching a train wreck, you know? It's like
Yeah.
you don't want anyone to be hurt, but it's so like awesome to look at that you want to like keep looking at it. You don't want it to stop in a way. It's kind of sick when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's a weird human trait.
Whereas like personally, I'll see like a campy TV show and like I'll get up and walk away.
Oh, dude.
Obviously not if I'm like if I was sitting with someone, say like, I don't know, you had a girl over and like she's like, oh, I want to watch this show. Like,
You're gonna
whatever,
stomach it. You're gonna sit through it.
you
Yeah.
know? But like if you're sitting like if somebody tries to conflict with me on the internet, like, you know, I just won't reply. I just don't care.
No.
I'll just let it go.
I like stoking the
don't
flames
care.
a little bit before I put them out.
I'll think about it and then I'm like, does this really deserve my personal energy?
Yeah.
Never.
I think it's just like the intrusive part of myself that just wants to keep following the thread.
Yeah.
Like to see
you
where
want
it
to see how
goes.
far you can go before you can't go. I see. Yeah. It's like playing chicken.
Yeah.
in a car.
Right. Right.
Which, like, obviously I've
And
never
I'm
done
just
that. But still.
and I'm an idiot, so I'm gonna do that with people. You know
Yeah.
the stutter step where you like block their way a little bit, like on purpose. Like I already do that at work anyway, so
Yeah.
like mentally I'm kind of already there. But it's just funny because you just see how like the ranges that people communicate with each other. It's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of base layer communication, meaningless stuff. It just doesn't, that has no value to it.
Yeah.
Then you have like a smaller section above that where it's like, okay, people are now talking about like interesting things, the things that kind of matter. And like as you go up, obviously it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's like lonelier at the top.
Yeah.
That's why like smart people go crazy because there's
Yeah.
less of them out there.
Yeah.
So like in a way I'm kind of glad I'm an idiot, but in a way I'm glad that like I'm not like stupid.
But also, it is funny to see how much like someone could get emotionally invested into like talking to a stranger online that is probably trolling. Like anytime I see something negative, I just assume someone's trolling,
Like someone's on the other side laughing that they're being an asshole.
Whereas like like someone else is behind the keyboard with like anger, tears in their eyes. Like, no, they have to see how I see it.
The crazy Wojak crying.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, it should have been me.
It should have been me.
Like that type of shit.
Why don't you understand?
Yeah.
And, they're like slamming their fists on the desk, like mad because they can't like get their point across.
Yeah, that is so lame. But like I see how it is so easy to bait people into that like lifestyle of them thinking that online stuff matters or works or
Yeah, I mean,
like
I've
my
seen
favorite
posts.
people on Instagram are the people that don't post professionally. I like the people that post Instagram how it's like meant to be posted.
Like just random stuff.
Like just random stuff, like maybe a regular ass selfie of them. Like say they went to the ball game and then maybe their popcorn, and then I don't know, maybe like a mundane ass photo of the field, like how social media used to be before. Like
Or like
I'll be honest with you,
the
before
stack of shoes in the front of their house, like just something random.
yeah, before that, like the photographers try to make it something it wasn't, and then now you have everyone trying to be an influencer, even like the local person you know.
The aesthetic of the account matters. Like
Yeah.
you have to have a certain amount of posts, and they all have to match
Yeah.
the aesthetic of the profile
And your grid
picture.
has to look nice, and now you're doing fucking reels or whatever, shorts
Ew,
or whatever.
get out of here.
Like honestly, I there's people. Obviously, I'm not gonna say who it is, but there's people online that I follow that I'm just like, I like when you post.
Because it's an
I don't
actual
ca-
genuine post.
Yes.
They were like, I like that I'm posting this.
Yes.
It's not like I'm trying to make it look this way.
Yeah,
I mean, there's people that I know that I used to work with that like they don't even post anything.
yeah,
Private account, whatever. They don't post anything, but they always update it to like make the bio and the picture like
Yeah.
look a certain way, and then like they have 3 posts, maybe for a couple of months that are like fit a certain aesthetic, and then like the colors change and they did delete all the posts and like post like a new like what are you doing? People don't care. No one cares that you're changing the account to look a
Dude,
certain way.
I hate when people post things
Just
and then
use the account.
they archive certain posts or they leave them up for a little bit and then they re-archive posts. And like, dude, it's not that serious. People aren't watching you on that macro scale.
And
like,
no one's sitting there going, "Oh, I hope that they unarchive it." Like, "Oh my god, I wish that photo was back up."
yeah, dude, like you're a loser. Like, if someone say, obviously, me and the homie got sushi this morning, and then we got coffee after, and now I'm here shooting this pod. If I posted like a picture of my sushi, the coffee, and then me and you just on the mic, obviously it's not like an influencer look. To me, that's like a genuine day.
It's not. Well, you're not like dressing it up to be something. You're just
Yeah.
posting as you're going through your life.
Yeah,
That's more natural than like someone who's trying to like specifically curate a certain, how do I say it? They want to curate a certain experience for their followers, like that
Yeah.
they're having. They want to like, oh, like pose this way and like, have it all perfect and cut out, and I'm gonna do this, and so
Yeah.
you better say that or do this, and like it has to look like this very specific way.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just not that like, it's not that serious.
You know what I love? That
That's why I don't delete any of my posts.
I don't think I've deleted. Obviously, like
I have 800 posts.
certain photos where you're like, I'm gonna delete this one because it just looks weird to have that
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Like maybe like a relationship failed or whatever, or like friendships, or whatever. Like that's fine, But I never really posted that type of shit, anyways. Like that's fine, But
Okay,
also, it's like
you may not want a certain post or a certain picture because it has someone that you just are no longer interacting with,
Yeah.
and it has no meaning to be on your profile.
yeah, that's
Okay,
fine. But other than
whatever.
that, like I don't even know how many posts I'm at.
But to just post something to like archive it 3 weeks later because you want to keep your account looking a certain way, like why even post it to begin with? You should just delete your account.
Yeah, I have over 500 posts on Instagram, which obviously I used to like not post as much, but obviously now that I shoot a little more photos,
Yeah.
like I don't care how many people like it. To be honest with you, I just put it out to put it out because
Yeah,
it's like
and
someone may somewhere out there go, wow, I really like that photo. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, that's enough.
Exactly.
You know, now would it be cool to get 50K likes on every photo? Yeah, sure. But like, I don't care. My
Mm-hmm.
life isn't that.
It
My
doesn't
life
revolve
isn't
around that
Instagram.
number.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I just like the more genuine. Or like, my favorite part is now that little influencer types found out that Lightroom exists,
Oh
and so they
yeah.
make little bunk ass presets and be like I'm not even talking about photographers though. You know, I'm talking about just like
Just people.
that person that like
Oh, use
check
my preset.
check me out. I'm at this new local coffee shop. Oh my god, it was so good. You know, like, and now they're like, oh, buy my little $10 preset or whatever, and it's just like,
All they did was slide the saturation thing over and save it. And it's like,
no,
dude, I
no.
could have done that for free.
What they did is they desaturate, add warmth, and then like slightly overexpose or something. You're like, dude,
That took 2 seconds.
that
And
is
I knew and I
crazy.
knew exactly the dials and what numbers you set it to.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, like it's that point where like you gotta lie to people so much, you know?
Make up this, like, you got to really sell them on this thing that you're trying to, this universe you're trying to create.
Yeah, yeah, that's literally what it is. It's like, you want a little bit of my world? Here you go.
Yeah, it's like
$10,
dude, $8.
$20. What are you broke?
Yeah, what are you, Brick? Buy my preset.
What are you broke? Buy the preset. Come on. And then somebody buys Lightroom, like thinking like,
And then
oh
they're
yeah, I can do
posting
this.
hella weird ads on their Instagram account to their 2,000 followers. Like, do they pay you $5 for this ad? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on here?
Yeah, that is funny. But yeah, I don't know. Just the whole social medias and people not being real in like a lot of aspects. And I'm not saying I'm above it. You know, I spend not a lot of time on social media, but I still spend a decent amount because like I genuinely like my For You pages.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's what it's called on TikTok.
I
but
mean, we like looking at stuff.
yeah, the public, my like the thing that Instagram serves me, which is film cameras, regular cameras, and like pretty much travel.
Yeah.
Like I like seeing that stuff. Like obviously, because it's like, oh, okay, I'll make a mental note. Like I actually use the save tab on Instagram quite a bit just to go back.
Oh,
to
to
things.
go back to your stuff that you liked before.
Yeah. Or like, does Instagram ever do it to you? Will they start to serve you like partially nude women? Or like
I
they're
get
in like
that. I get
shady clothing. You know
I
what I
get
mean?
like a spurt of it, and then I just say I'm not interested, and it goes away for a little bit, and then it comes back.
Isn't that crazy that like like that's what happens to me. Like I'll hit not interested, because I like to be able to, if I want to, scroll on my Instagram in public. I don't want to look like that fucking guy and end up on a meme where it's like some.
I mean, I also just try not to open it up like
Yeah.
when I'm at work and stuff, just because like I hate people seeing the timeline. Not that there's anything egregious on there, but just like, why are you looking at my phone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to just look at my shit and not have to worry about people like peeking over, not for like I'm hiding anything, but just for privacy's sake.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really bother me. Like, obviously, my page is really clean, but obviously, at one point where it's like some girl shaking her ass and like the screen, you're like,
Well, that's what I mean.
This is not what I'm here for. And if someone sees that, they're like, ooh.
Exactly. They're
Bro
like,
was dogging out in
Bruh,
public.
like-
You're like, no, bro. Like, I genuinely don't want to see
and
this.
then you scroll past and you don't know what it's gonna be next, and
And then it's something similar.
you just get the one, and you're just like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking for a meme, and then like some ass pops up that's unrelated. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted this person to like look at this meme, and like the first thing that loads up on the timeline is fucking titties. Like, why
Yeah.
does that have to be the thing?
Or some girl like cleaning the kitchen. In reality, like, you know, you're cleaning your kitchen and your scrubby is closed, but homegirl's like in like a dress.
Like literally
like,
the maid
what the
outfit
fuck?
with like nothing on underneath. It's like, dude, how is Instagram not banning your account right now? This is like a hair away from literal porn on the timeline.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so my homie did
That's
send me the one.
horrible.
Yeah, my homie sent me one, and I'm not trying to like deflect it from me, but like he sent me this, and I just like my genuine reply is like, how is this still on Instagram?
How is this not
You
banned?
could literally see like
Everything.
beeve. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the whole thing.
Everything.
Like whole thing as in the whole thing, not as in like a whole. You know what I mean? But like
No,
you
but
pretty much almost see that
The
too.
entirety of
And so I sent it to you. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
how is this not banned on Instagram yet? Because you know everyone's staying low key about it. And like it's like the girl like just making a bed, but she's completely nude. You're like, dude, how is this not banned on Instagram? Like there's literally children on this app.
because they're dancing that fine line, and those execs that are sitting there banning the accounts and all that, they're like, nah, just a little more.
Yeah.
They're like,
Because honestly, they know that
get a
like
whiff.
if they push it, because think about it.
Sick fucks.
If it's us that pushes, I'm not interested. Like at least once a month, you know, so like once a month you have to do that little cleanse.
yeah.
They know that, okay, we'll just serve it to them in a month.
Like, they'll forget about it.
Yeah, like they should, like that's crazy. Like obviously they know if like you're that guy that sits there and scrolls on the web just staring at all these women, like you're gonna stay on the app, you know.
Yeah, the algorithm's gonna know.
But also it's like, why even do that? You don't know any of these girls. None of these girls are gonna like you. Like it's much easier if you just go outside and find a normal girl that's actually gonna like you for you,
Yeah.
rather than fiending over these
Go
quote
meet a real
unquote.
individual and not just like this drawn up fake person.
Yeah, because then now you're like
Caricature of a human being.
you're mentally like, oh, I like this person, and then like this person has no idea you exist. It's like, why would you even spend time doing that?
I think that's why people I think that's why dating sucks for a lot of people now. Is like they see online everything is so done up higher than what the reality is. So the expectation. I mean, it's nice to have high expectations of people, right? Because like you should just be a good person and not a piece of shit. Like
Yeah.
that's totally understandable, but that's like normalcy. What I'm saying here is like people that expect all these crazy things or people to like look a certain way or act a certain way because they're just so conditioned by social media's like fake expectations.
Yeah.
They go out and meet like an actual genuinely regular person
And they're like mid.
and they're like mid, that
Yeah,
part sucks.
Like ugh.
You're a piece of shit. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, they're like, why am I unhappy? It's like, well, you had an opportunity with a completely normal person, whether
Yeah.
it's a man or a woman, right? And you blew them off because they didn't fit that cookie cutter
Little fake idea you have in your head that you perceive as real.
right? That you've convinced yourself was the truth of how people actually act in the real world, and then that's why people are so disappointed. I feel like.
And like also not to like shit on like women because I know guys do it too.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you ever see someone on Instagram and then you see them in real life? Like obviously this is like an old meme now, like Instagram versus reality. You ever see someone in real life where you're like, oh wow, you look way different on Instagram. Like you're still like a normal looking person, you know, but it's also like,
right.
why are you trying to look like an 11 when in reality it's like that's not like you're a normal person.
Yeah.
Like to me that's crazy where it's like,
I mean, I understand the feeling of like the letdown, but it's also like, why does it matter to be perceived as something more than what you just are? Because you can just be who you are and people can just find it cool or not. Like,
yeah.
I don't think that opinion matters. But obviously people are more vain than us. Like,
Yeah.
there are people who actually care about that stuff.
Yeah. Like obviously I don't really post pictures of myself on Instagram because it's just not, I don't really care to. Like every once in a while I will, but I just like, it's not something I'm like, you won't catch me like having selfies in my phone. You know what I mean?
Like
unless I'm like
where
chilling
someone
with, like,
takes 20, 30 selfies and they pick like the only the one, but they keep the rest of them on there.
and they go ahead and modify that anyways.
Yeah.
Bigger eyes, you know, smoother
They
skin,
still
stuff
put
like that.
the crazy filter on it and do some crazy stuff to it. I don't know, man. It's just crazy world out there.
Yeah.
Nothing is real anymore.
Stay safe, y'all.
Stay safe.
Especially in this holiday season, bro. If you got cuffed up during the holiday season,
Beware.
going into the holiday season, it's probably going to be a good time till about like
Christmas.
probably February, because that's Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, after Christmas and New Year's, and then
And then
like
it's
you
like-
have
it's
the
like-
2 months like of nothing, and then
You're like, oh my God, I'm with a stranger.
Valentine's Day, you're like, damn.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this pod up. Moral of the story today is stay safe out there, y'all.
Stay safe out there, y'all. You never know who's on the other side of the screen. Could be psychopath, could be a catfish,
Yeah.
could be some weirdo.
Everybody have a good Halloween. Hopefully you spend it with some family. And we'll see you guys on next week's pod.
Yes, we will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening. If you are listening at this very end part, please like and subscribe and leave us a question down below if you want us to answer it in the next video, where I feel like I want to answer some questions if people leave them in the bottom. So we'll see how that turns out.
Let's go with like personal questions. Like
Yeah,
like,
personal questions.
Let's say like, oh, what do I do here? This happened. I'm not answering any political or
Yeah, no, like
whose war.
ask
you're
us for
supporting.
advice or something like that. Like
Yeah,
leave us
advice.
leave us a comment down below, like if you're struggling with something, and we'll try to work it out on the next spot. And we'll
I'm
see.
so down. I love that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.